All right, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom and salute to the hopefully elect. So this video is going to be about a town, a lost town called Warren Town, Baltimore, Maryland. It was a community, an all-black community, which was in northern Baltimore County, up by, I had a brother, he used to work in Cockeysville, sort of like northern, north above Towson, in the Lock Raven area. And what happened to it, right, is sort of similar to what happened to the, what you call that, Lake Lanier town in Georgia, and many other towns similar, that at one time black Americans had these certain towns, and they were flooded out by Esau, you know, and it almost remind you, I guess you could say it's similar to Tulsa, Oklahoma, because it was around the same time. But I don't know. We're gonna dive into it a little bit because you know, of course, you know, they were a lot of towns. You had a lot of Gadites, right, that had little towns before Esau destroyed them. You know, or as you would say, Black American or foundational Black Americans. You had thriving towns. You know, some of the Jake were doing good. Some of the Jake were doing decent. But one thing, I know Elder Karasaba, he bring out a decent point, is that even though Jake had these towns, they were still on a land. Esau owned that land, or he stole that land, but it was still under Esau's rule. So that's why it didn't thrive. And that's why Esau was able to, it all goes back to Job 9:24. The earth was given to these devils, was given into the hands of the wicked, man. But yeah, a lot of people pretty much don't know about this town. So let's dive a little deep into it. It says a lost town submerged underwater, and a lot of us drive past this. I know I do my deliveries, and sometimes I have my routes up in this area, and I drive right past it. I never knew that it was a town under this Lock Raven reservoir, similar to Silicon Valley, which was up in Central Park. You know, they got Jacob out of there, and now you have the northern Central Park. But that once was a black area. You know, as you look at this. Let's play. Let me see. Hold on. All right, here's just this guy made a little rap song about a lot. Hey, it's a lot of black towns that was in the United States that Esau submerged underwater, and this was one of them. It says Lost Black Town, Warren, Maryland, Baltimore, and this would be under the Lock Raven Reservoir.
Maryland, a community that was black ran. And guess what them niggas put over it? I goddamn damn. I know it's a black town under the Hoover. I know it's a black town under Lake Mead. I know it's a black town under all these goddamn lakes. And the day niggas stoking out bricks. Warren in Baltimore, Maryland, a community that was black.
All right, that was just a little part of the rap song that he made about Warren, Maryland, or Baltimore. It's a lost town in Baltimore that's submerged under Lock Raven Reservoir. All right, so hold on. All right, so right now we on Google Maps. So the lost town, as you can see, you got Cockeysville. All right, so you see right here it says Lock Raven Reservoir Park. Now, this is okay. It's by Timonium as well. So I just passed the street that's called. Okay, here's Warren. As you can see, it says Warren Road. All right. So the town would be under this water right here. submerged in all this under this water. And as you can see, this is a lot of this is a large area right here, you know. And they did the same thing down in Georgia, right? So if you go out through history, Esau got to pay for all this wickedness that he done to Jake. All right, so hold on again. All right, let's just read a little information on this, and then we'll get the scriptures. So it says, what happened to Warren, Baltimore, Maryland? It says, located just east of Cockeysville, the mill town of Warren thrived for more than 100 years until it was destroyed and flooded to create Loch Raven Reservoir, the primary source of drinking water for metropolitan Baltimore. Warren once occupied a prominent place in the nation's textile industry. All right, so yeah, so that's another. It says lost. Let's get like a little. All right, I want to get like a little bit more prominent source. All right, so this is Wikipedia. So let's go to history. So of course, all right. So evidently they got a lot of. I'm just going through it. I'm just going through it. It's a black town, 1881 Loch Raven. So they got. So all right, it's well documented. So they built this dam to cover, and they did this similar thing to Lake Lanier in Georgia, to build. They did similar thing to in Georgia. All right, let's look at this article right here. Oh, this doesn't say much. Just a minute. All right, I found an article. Now, this article doesn't really say too much about Jake being there, but we all know that it was a black town. It says in 1920, Warren, Maryland was one of the most productive and vibrant towns in Baltimore County. By 1922, it had been leveled and flooded under 45 feet of water. It says, like most people who grew up in Baltimore County, I was a regular visiting to the Loch Raven Reservoir, fishing, hiking, bird watching, and feeding the area's resident Canadian geese are all on the menu. What I didn't know is when I was visiting the reservoir, I was also visiting the town of Warren, Maryland. It says Loch Raven's mysteries. Like most wilderness areas, Loch Raven has its share of legends and stories. Yes, it does. Loch Raven, of course, you brothers know, or those who's watching it, it's Loch Raven is it's an area in Baltimore that's named after the Raven Edgar Allan Poe, which that is named after the team. That's where they got the name. The team name, the Baltimore Ravens, but Edgar Allan Poe was like a prominent person in Baltimore, one of those Edomites that he was prominent. So it says, like most wilderness, Loch Raven has a share of legend and stories. Among them are various Bigfoot sightings, ghosts, and even history of UFO sightings. So yeah, Baltimore is pretty spooky when it goes to that. And Loch Raven, you got Jude Hill Park, you got Loch Raven, you got Leakin Park. Yeah, that's the park where Jakes and all types of people would dump They'll do murders and dump bodies in that park. So yeah, Baltimore's pretty crazy, man. It says, when I was younger, friends used to say that there was a town under Loch Raven Reservoir, a town that had been flooded when the Gunpowder River was dammed up. As it turned out, the legend is true. Yes, it was a black town. It says Loch Raven ruins. Anyone who hike or mountain bike the area in the immediate vicinity is familiar with the area's assortment of old buildings and ruins. What most of them don't know is that these ruins are the remains of the town of Warren, Maryland, which was flooded when Loch Raven Dam height was raised by over 50 feet. And if you go in this area right now, this modern day, you got a lot of Edomites. They got a little money that lives in this area. There's a lot of nice prestige houses in this area. This is a part of Baltimore County. So, of course, the same thing they did with Jake. They take Jake land, and years down the line, Esau be living well, which the scriptures say he will have the best land. So it says the town of Warren, Maryland. It says in the 1920s, Warren was one of the most productive and vibrant towns in Baltimore County. Sounds familiar, right? Tulsa, Oklahoma. It says by 1922, it had been leveled and flooded under 45 feet of water. This sound familiar? Like Lake Lanier in Georgia, and it's probably hundreds and hundreds of towns that Esau did this to. You know, it says the town was owned by Summerfield Baldwin, who ran the Warren Manufacturing Company. The town had 900 residents who ran 2 mills. Warren was a major textile producer and an industrial hub for Baltimore County. That all changed in 1922 when the city of Baltimore purchased the town in order to flood the property to increase the size of the reservoir. The nearby town of Phoenix, Maryland was also sold, but was eventually spared of flooding and still exists today. Of course, probably because whites was living there. So it says the Warren Cotton Mill shut down in February 1922, and by the end of the same year, the town was gone. All right. So this town was gone, and I guess here's pictures of the old town. All right. So it says life in Warren wasn't unlike life in other manufactured towns at the turn of the century. The majority of the town residents were also employees traveling far from home, and it says the town had school, churches, homes, shops, and its own main street. A resident might spend the majority of his life inside the town or close proximity. There was even a castle. See, it says, believe it or not, there really was a castle. The Glen Estate, it wasn't flooded out by the reservoir, but the property was abandoned and quickly declined after the flood. It was eventually demolished. So, yeah. So, yeah, they don't say too much about Jake being there, but they tell you the truth. Hold on. So yeah, it's a couple articles that go into why they flooded the city out. And the company's buying out the city. And to tell you the truth, they only do this. They only kick citizens out that don't really have any power, and they mainly Jake, because they wouldn't do this back then. Too, they wouldn't do this to white folks. This was mainly dead to Jake. It says by late 19th century, Baltimore's clean drinking water was in short supply. The polluted, and it was at a low level too. That's Baltimore's basically, a lot of spots in Baltimore are in valleys, and this was like a valley, a lowland. So that's probably why it was flooded out for the reservoir, for them to build a dam. So it says the polluted and sometimes depleted Jones Falls. Yeah, Jones Falls run from all the way down the harbor all the way up to the top. Could not fill the need of cities' growing number of citizens. In 1881, the first Loch Raven Dam, the lower dam, was built, forming a reservoir, but it still wasn't enough to meet demand. Plans for the massive 2,400-acre Loch Raven Reservoir, as we know it today, started Baltimore Council ordinance. So where did I see that? Here it is. It says 600,000 residents and expanding industrial base plans. Okay. All right, here we go. At the time, Warren was home to cotton, flour, and grist mills. 3 churches: St. Paul's Protestant Church, Warren Methodist Episcopal Church, and Warren Baptist Church. Sound familiar, huh? A public school, general store, post office, and more than 900 residents. It says, after the project was approved, it was learned that the city officials had been quietly or secretly, some say, in negotiations with Warren Manufacturing Company to buy out the mills and the town in order to level them. In 1925, after several years of legal haggling, the citizens were given the boot. The mills and town dismantled, and eventually the whole Warren disappeared under 23 billion gallons of gunpowder water. Damn. So y'all can look into it, you brothers. But it's not really saying it's Jake, but it's most likely it was Jake. Hold on. All right, here's another video on it. I'm just, trying to get the credible, because Esau is the devil. He'll never say it, but if you read between the lines, you'll know that the people that was living there were Jake's, because at that time they were the only people treated like that. No white people were being treated like that back then. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but if you read on how the story went, those were all Jakes in that town. Just like they did all over the country around the same time.
Born in Baltimore, Maryland, a community that was black ran. And guess what?
Well, goddamn, Baltimore. Check this shit out.
Oh, but another thing too, I wanted to say too is the land. It might have been black ran, or it might have been the population might have been black, but Jake still didn't own it, because it clearly tells you that the Esau owned all of the factories and stuff. So they ultimately was able to overthrow it and flood it because they owned the land. We all know these devils stole it from the Native Americans, but some of those Native Americans were the same people that was living in those towns like that, like Tulsa and Warren, and but throughout generations, hey, Jake was at a low state.
Warren.
So let's see what he got to say. I'm gonna play a couple more videos.
Baltimore. Now it's considered Baltimore County, I guess. Cockeysville area. Loch Raven Reservoir used to be a city called Warren, or a town. 1908. They took it, dismantled it. The article says they booted the citizens, 900 brothers and sisters. 900. They booted them out. How you think that went in 1908? How you think they booted them out of their homes in 1908? You understand what I'm saying? I believe the owner of the mill. Hold on. Yeah, I had to do some homework on this because I'm from here and they ain't teach us none of this shit. So we gonna get into it real quick. 23 million gallons, 2,400 acres. That's the Loch Raven Reservoir right now.
Yeah, I live in Baltimore City, and I never I just recently heard about this, but you'll be surprised if you start digging. Digging, you'll find history on how they did Jake. You know, all throughout this country. But this is an East Coast city, so I'm pretty sure a lot of devilish shit went down in this city we call Baltimore, Maryland. Which, you know, like I said, the Gadites had this city first, but this devil took us down. Job 9:24. So let's finish out this video.
Baltimore City Ordinance 141 in 1908. They ain't get it done to 1922. They talking about legal haggling. No, they did some eminent domain type shit when they take your house and give you what the fuck they want to give you. That's what they did with Warren. Cotton flour, grist mills, 3 churches, public school, general store, post office. That's what's... They say they dismantled it because they had to do the reservoir, right? For 600,000 Baltimore City residents. Who do you think those residents were in 1908? And then it's very in line with all these local governments enacting floods and taking land from us when we're doing very well by ourselves. See, real quick before we end. I'm talking to you white liberals right now. I don't even care about you racist motherfuckers. Y'all gonna do what y'all do. This is what's going on with all of this history coming out. And it's a lot of your relatives too. That's what's being hidden. That's what the right needs to hide. But many of y'all want to hide that shit too when it gets to the local. When it gets to the local history of this shitty ass country and their character. Right? Uncle Sam's shitty ass character. That's what we're talking about right now. Got me pissed off today. Warren, Baltimore. Look it up. Please look. I ain't even want to post no pictures because I might have tears in my eyes right now. A straight up town, up the street from where I live right now. I should be living up there.
See? So, yeah, let's get the scriptures. Before I get the other scriptures, I just want to get this payback scripture because this is on my spirit. It's this Revelation 13:9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith for the saints. The saints, yeah. What was that? So everything they did to us is going to be done to these devils. Is that in Revelation where it said double? Here it is. That's the spirit. This is Revelations 18:6. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double. And double unto her double according to her works. So they're going to get double back. They're going to catch hell, man. What they did to Jake, man, over in Babylon the Great, also known as Sodom, also known as Egypt. And if you dig deeper, they probably been doing, man, this shit is crazy, man. You find it, the more digging you dig, the more shit you just find. Like, it's like a never ending thing. So you can imagine all the devilish shit this devil did to keep us down from living regular lives. But ultimately, it was our punishment from the Heavenly Father to let these heathens allow them to do it. What was that scripture in? I believe it was. Let me see. Let's get Joel 3:3. It says, "And they have cast lots for my people, and given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink." It says, let's go down. Because you have taken my silver, my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. And that's what you did. You did it plenty of times. You did it with the southern tribe. You did it with the northern tribe. And you kept doing it. Like, it's not like you did it and didn't stop. Once we were freed out of captivity, you even messed with Gad. You even went over there with Reuben and kept removing them for their border. And then these people over in Warren, that I'm just learning about, Warren, Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, you've removed them for their border. You see, it says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. Yeah, you got a bounty on your head, Esau. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it. So we're going to be trading your behind to other Israelites and other, because we're going to have taskmasters. Just like you had it, you had the middleman, you had that Hamite, them stinking, dusty Hamites. Hey, they're going to be the middleman of us too. It's going to be a hierarchy. That hierarchy is never going away, but this time we're going to be at the top. Because we're not going to be doing the dirty work. We're going to let them Hamites deal with you. And you know what I mean? But everything will be done in righteousness and in order. You know? Hold on. This is Obadiah 1. It says, I'll go to 10, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. And a lot of these liberals, these Edomite, white liberals, they're ashamed of what they did in the past, you know? But it can't be erased. You did it. Like that Jake was saying, your forefathers did that. You are your forefathers. So it says, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive of his force, and foreigners entered to his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. It says, but thou shouldn't have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. So, where I wanted that, here it is. Verse 16, for ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So yeah, you Edomites, you so-called white people, you going to pay for what you did to Jacob. The Gadites, the Reubenites, the Judites, the Ephraimites, the Benjamites, the Levites, you know, the Simeonites. You going to pay. All the way down to Issachar, you going to pay. So, I hope this lesson was edifying. I just kind of found out about that Warren, Baltimore, Maryland, Warren, Maryland issue, you know, dealing with the flooding. But that sounds just like, what it is, I was just looking at Georgia, not Silicon Valley, it was on the tip of my mind, Lake Lanier. Sounds just like Lake Lanier. So, till again, shalom.